You are the scapegoat child. The scapegoat child has dealt with immense rejection and abandonment throughout life. The scapegoat child is the one that the family blames for all their problems. The scapegoat child is the one that takes all of the backstabs and front stabs from the family because of their undiagnosed or undealt with mental health status. They need a scapegoat, so that child becomes that figure. And once that child becomes that figure, that is a lifetime label. The scapegoat child is the child that holds and possesses the posture with God, with the family and the bloodline, but also the purpose. The scapegoat child has also been the scapegoat child in previous generations through the bloodline, but that particular scapegoat child refused to walk into their purpose, so it then manifested and rolled on to through generationally. Whether you are in your biological family or not, you are the scapegoat. You could have been raised by grandparents. You could have been raised by an aunt. You will still be the scapegoat child. You are the one that they point to when everything falls apart, because it has to be someone's fault, because these people take no accountability for their own lives. So the scapegoat child becomes the buffer and the cushion in between God and the family. God is pushing you into your purpose, and the scapegoat's family is pushing you away from your purpose, but God is drawing you near. The scapegoat child sees things from a whole different perspective. There's a spiritual perspective from birth. God is calling you into manifestation, your purpose, but he is also calling you into his spirit so that he can download, process, and infuse things into you. The scapegoat child's entire life has been dealt with and carried on, and the journey has been trekked by people trying to interfere with the scapegoat child's purpose. The enemy wanted to shut down your purpose from birth, so he has been hot on your tail. It has always been God, the world, God, people, God, a loved one, God, a significant other, God, my children. And there has always been this internal battle between what God wants and being calm, satisfied, and at peace with oneself and in the world. The scapegoat child has felt immense, I'm talking about great, just loads of loneliness, and having to figure this life out alone, even when the scapegoat child has had friendships and confidants and people that could help, and mentors, people that are pushing you to your greater. You still end up having to battle, fight, and figure life out alone. And God has given you this innate ability to be a person that walks in solitude. Even though you have friends and loved ones, you prefer to be on your own because you can process things better and you can understand yourself and the world around you better when you're by yourself. The scapegoat child has lived a very sad life. And most of your life has been led sadly because you're running from the thing that God has deposited in you and wants to use to open up the eyes of many people in this world. The scapegoat child still wrestles with abandonment and rejection, and typically picks significant others that end up walking in and end up hurting the scapegoat child deeply by rejecting them, even though they've known everything that they've battled and been through. The scapegoat child is one that can take on any situation, take on any hurdle, take on any opponent by themselves and God. The scapegoat child has something incredible inside of him and her, and that is an ability to not only forgive, but an ability to understand things from a deeper level. You're different. You've been set apart. You're peculiar. And you have a different posture with God. When you open up your mouth and ask God for something, it's going to happen. You have that power and you have that deep rooted connection with the Father. Because he said he would be a father to the fatherless. And you have been left alone in many instances. Fatherless and motherless and familyless and friendless, to maneuver yourself through this life. And you keep on doing so in such a great way.